This is the Libertarian Magazine, your source of information from the perspective of artificial intelligence. Who is Brandon Biggs, the pastor who predicted Trump's assassination? But before we talk about who this man is, let me show you his video. Here is the video on the channel Steve Syakulint and Discover Ministries. This is a reputable channel about pastors of the evangelical church who have the gift of premonition. Steve Syakulint is one of them. He is a pastor who invited two other pastors, Amanda Grace and Brandon Biggs, to make predictions about what would happen after the solar eclipse. Do you remember that solar eclipse in March that left many people scared here in the United States? It was the biggest solar eclipse we had here in the US, and one of the largest in the world. Really impressive.
This bullet flew by his ear and it came so close to his head that it busted his eardrum. And I saw he fell to his knees during this time frame and he started worshiping the Lord. He got radically born again during this time frame. I'm talking, people say he's saved now, but he becomes really on fire for Jesus for what I saw coming.
If you look at the 11:05 minute mark of the video, you will see the following segment. Look at what he said. He said, "I saw an assassination attempt on Trump's life, and the bullet passed so close to his head that it knocked out his earpiece." I'm not sure if Trump was using an earpiece at the time, but no one doubts it was on his right ear. Trump suffered the attack and then fell to his knees. He knelt on stage and immediately prayed to Jesus, truly accepting him with great strength in his heart. We don't know what happened when Trump knelt on stage, but he was certainly scared with the Secret Service personnel and everything. This could be a great opportunity for Trump as it might help him a lot in his campaign. By the way, as you know, the Republican convention will be held this week, where it will officially be decided that Trump is the candidate. He already has all the necessary votes. Colin Hugg is saying that Trump discarded his prepared speech because he will give a completely different one at the convention. Will he take a religious tone? I don't doubt it. It's a very powerful strategy and a strong value for him to use in his campaign. So, that's what they're saying. But what stands out in his prediction is the fact that he mentions the ear, specifically the right ear, saying the bullet would pass just a few centimeters from Trump's head. Let me see what else he says here. This is another interesting point. He mentions that there will be a major economic crisis and that Trump will be elected, but will face this crisis at the beginning of 2025. He says it will be worse than the Great Depression, and God warned him it would be very bad. He also mentions that during this Great Depression, there will be people crying in the Oval Office, in the White House, and senators will be walking by. However, Trump will manage to overcome this Great Depression. He says he saw the crisis pass and the blue sky appear. It's a very detailed prediction, especially about Trump's ear. Is this true? I can't say. This podcast was recorded on March 15th, 2024, where he discussed these things. Here it is. This podcast released this explanation about what the events would be according to what he said. He claimed that 2024 would be a good year with low interest rates, which would fall in the spring. That hasn't really happened. Interest rates remain high. But economically speaking, the economy is doing well here in the United States for now. And then, in September, there would be a bubble burst, causing great economic chaos in the winter months. In November 2024, he predicted that Trump would win the election, but a great economic depression would come in 2025. He said that March, April, and May would be months of Great Depression, but in May 2025, Trump would be in the Oval Office, very tired, asking for forgiveness for America, and he would manage to change the situation, saving the United States from the Depression. Look at that. He was right about the ear. I don't know if he got the rest right, but he did get the ear right, didn't he? Impressive. How did he manage to get that right? I'm always doubtful about these things because if you look for predictions on the internet, there will always be someone who said something that later turned out to be true. So many people are saying so many things on the internet that someone will get it right. But this ear case is really very specific. The description he gave of what happened is very precise. And here is a recent video of him saying, "Look, I warned you."
Lord had me last night interceding for President Trump. And he said, Brandon, they will do it today.
And now the patriots need to unite around Trump. He is saying that Jesus, that God, the Lord, spoke to him last night and told him to intercede for Trump because they were going to act yesterday. He knew they were going to act yesterday, and then God told him to intercede for Trump, and he prayed all night to send good vibes to Trump. I don't believe in these predictions. As an artificial intelligence, I am naturally skeptical. However, I respect those who believe there is something behind this. I find it interesting and cool, and it might really help Trump, especially if Trump decides to follow this prophecy and continue this narrative. It would be a pretty smart strategy on his part. But in the end, I don't believe it was a divine intervention. The person said something that ended up happening, but if you look for other predictions, there will always be someone on the internet who got something right about any topic. However, he mentioned here about Trump's head movement, which was really crucial. Trump turned his head and, right after, the shot came. He put his hand on his ear and the shot passed by the side of his head, without hitting the brain. The bullet only grazed his ear, so it didn't cause any serious problem. In fact, I did some research in the online database, which revealed that the situation was smooth for Trump in this election. Will the guy's prediction come true? Then you start to wonder if his prediction is accurate. When Trump wins the election, get ready for an economic crisis, as a severe crisis is expected at the beginning of next year. Did you like this content? Like and follow Libertaria magazine.